Hi, welcome to my channel. I am Vilingor, and in this video I will be explaining how borders and countries do not exist really. Russia, America, Japan, India and so on are all concepts and ideas that someone invented in a certain period in history, and tomorrow these concepts will be forgotten, like so many countries and kingdoms from the past. When we think about ourselves as Americans or Russians or any other nation, it is an illusion. In reality, there is no such a thing as a Russian or an American, only humans. In the same way as there are no countries in reality, only trees, hills, and rivers. Countries exist only as an idea in the human mind, an idea that is terribly misused. We kill and die for these ideas. I will talk some more about the topic after a brief intro. I will tell a personal story here related to the topic of this video. I will share an experience I had in my life that maybe was instrumental in me understanding the illusion of identification with any particular nationality. I was born at the beginning of the 1980s in Yugoslavia, a country that was located in the Central Eastern Europe, just east of Italy across the Adriatic Sea. I was born a Yugoslavian. Then, some 10 years later, after my birth, from the beginning of the 1990s, in Yugoslavia started a separation and independence war between the various ethnicities that lived unified as one country. At the end of the war, Yugoslavia was separated in several smaller sovereign countries like Serbia, Bosnia, Croatia, and so on. At one point, in the year 1992, I just stopped being Yugoslavian. Not by my decision, but because Yugoslavia was no more. From one day to another, Yugoslavians became extinct. All Yugoslavian documents were invalid, the flag was just a colored rag, the national anthem represented nothing and was not heard or played anywhere anymore, and so on and so on. Yugoslavia was created in 1918 and existed for 74 years. 3 generations of people were born Yugoslavian: my grandfather, my father, and myself. In the Second World War, people of Yugoslavia fought, killed, and died for the freedom of Yugoslavia. Patriotic movies were made in bunches, with, at the time, famous movie stars that glorified Yugoslavia's fight for sovereignty. National heroes on a big screen that died gloriously with last words like "Take care of Yugoslavia for me." Books and songs were written in the same vein. Celebrities of the time, actors, singers, prize-winning athletes, famous intellectuals, scientists, and professors all were swearing their love and loyalty to this great homeland. Yugoslavia meant to Yugoslavians the same France means to French people, the same as America means to American people, and so on. It was a homeland, a land of our grandfathers, and the land where our grandchildren will live in prosperity and glory in the bright future beyond, and then, just like that, it was all gone. It is comical in a way and also tragical too. Thousands upon thousands of people died in the war of separation. Also, I heard stories of people killing themselves because Yugoslavia was no more. You know, healthy people, presumably, with food on their tables and roofs over their heads, presumably. But their identity died and they died with it. That is crazy. That is nuts. And that craziness is so common in all nations around the world. I thought recently about that day in 1992 when I stopped being Yugoslavian and I realized, hey, I felt no different that day than any other. Nothing really changed in my life that day. I went about doing the things I did every day, doing my school homework, playing with my friends, chasing dogs, catching frogs, or whatever a 10-ish-year-old kid does. I mean, I was aware that I was Yugoslavian no more, that all that Yugoslavia represented was gone, but who cares? The sun still shines, I'm alive, there's a good food to be eaten, cartoons to watch, frogs to catch, so who cares? Maybe the reason of my such way of thinking as a child was that, fortunately for me, my family was never big on nationalism. To this day, we do not have a flag of any sorts in our house, and I think that is a way it should be. I mean, these words, Brazil, Argentina, Nigeria, are useful for practical purposes, like orienting ourselves on the world map and thus being able to travel. It would be very hard to find places geographically if we did not designate them somehow. But when we identify with a certain geographical location, when we kiss the flag and bow before it, that's when the trouble starts. The point of this video is that we get attached to our nationality. We identify ourselves with our nationality to the point where if somebody speaks ill about our country, we take it as a personal attack on ourselves. We also identify others through their nationality. So to Americans, Russians are tyrannical, emotionless, and drink a lot. And from the Russian side, Americans are loud, gun-waving cowboys spoiled by materialism. All of these generalizations are false. While certainly there are people with these negative qualities in every nation, there are also a lot of nice, decent, lovable people in America and Russia. But by generalizing, by misusing nationality labels, we dehumanize the other human being, make them into a one-sided, headless, heartless monster to be destroyed. So comes the war, my nation against yours. We usually think of our nationality as something we just are, but it is not so. Nationality is learned. Let's say a baby is born in America to American parents and for some reason just after birth is adopted by a Russian couple living in Mother Russia. The baby growing up is never told that it is adopted, and the Russian parents truly treat the child as their own. Now, when the baby grows up, will he speak American English or Russian? Will he eat hamburgers or some typical Russian food? Will he sing American songs and generally feel American? Of course not. He would speak clear, fluent Russian because everybody around him speaks Russian. He would sing Russian songs, eat Russian food, make Russian farts, have Russian friends, and he would love Mother Russia and being Russian, because he would be taught so through school, television, radio, books, and so on, in the same way an American is taught through same means to love America. And if this adopted baby grows up to be a soldier and America gets in conflict with Russia, he would shoot and kill Americans and probably die himself for Mother Russia if need may be. Being Russian or American is just a software, a changeable software at that. It's not hardware. So Americans, Russians, Germans is always the same hardware, just humans. A same person can use different cultures, different software. For example, now I'm using English language/culture to express myself. I can use a different culture/language to express myself. I can speak in Bosnian, for example. Mogu da pričam na bosanskom, na primjer. Or I can speak in Italian. Oppure posso parlare in italiano. Let's say I go and live in Italy for 10 years. I speak the Italian language all the time. I wear Italian clothes. I eat Italian food. I use typical Italian gestures when I speak. And after 10 years, chances are I would be thinking my thoughts in Italian also. What am I then? When a native-born Italian could not tell a difference between me and his fellow countrymen. The truth is that a culture is like a hat. I can wear and use a yellow hat or a blue hat. A hat is not an inseparable part of who I am. It's just something I wear. In truth, nationalities and cultures are exactly the same, like wearing a blue or a red hat. Furthermore, have you ever thought that when you walk through nature, and maybe you are close to the border between your country and the next one, there is no red line that divides the two nations, as there is on the human-made maps of the world. The hills, the meadows, the rivers are not cut up by these imaginary lines. Nature is continuous, no matter the human borders. And human borders themselves are not fixed and change and shift depending on time period of human history and political and social events. So, what is a nation? Just an imaginary idea, useful for practical purposes, but not existing in reality. I used to think when, for example, we learn from history books that the Western Roman Empire ceased to exist in the year 476 AD, that all Western Roman Empire citizens just died off. But it's not like that at all. Sure, some relatively small number may have died in the wars and political upheaval, but a vast majority, let's say 99%, just went on living and just started calling themselves something else, Byzantines or Ostrogoths or whatever. It is the idea of the Western Roman Empire that died, and that alone shows that the idea was never real to begin with. But humans are, and not even the leadership of the Western Roman Empire died. Sure, some most prominent Politicians were killed off by the new ruling class. But what is a politician to do when the country he represented is no more? He will continue to be a politician in a newly formed country. He is a politician, after all. It's the only thing he knows how to do. He will probably go down the ladder of political influence, not be so prominent as previously, but maybe his children, and it is not unheard of, will rise to prominence again. That's certainly what happened after the fall of Yugoslavia. The same politicians that were the ruling class of Yugoslavia after the fall, they and their children became the leaders of the newly created countries, despising and talking how awful Yugoslavia was. So the business of kissing the flag is just a circus and a show. And I'm sorry to say, for naive people to believe in. There is a natural affection that we feel towards our natural environment. It feels good to watch the hills, to watch the sky, a sunset, to feel the wind on the skin. We like that. We like our natural environment, the earth, because we see the beauty in it, and that beauty makes us feel good. But that good feeling that we have towards our natural environment is hijacked by the idea of nationality, by the flag. So now it's Bosnian hills, and the American sky, and the Japanese sunset. The good feeling that nature gives us is used to link us to the flag. So instead of being dedicated to nature, as we should be, we became dedicated to petty nationalities. So I, for myself, have no nationality. Or in other words, I can also say I have all nationalities. I am Russian, I'm Indian, I'm Japanese, I'm American, I am Bosnian, I'm Serbian, I'm Nigerian, I'm German, and so on. Universe is my nationality. Universe is my homeland, and anybody in it is my compatriot. Isn't that better? Isn't that so much more and better than being just Bosnian? I still have the Bosnian passport, though, because I live in a world I live in, where I will be arrested if I try to travel without passport from country to country. But if enough people start to think the way I do and define themselves as citizens of the universe, the passport thing may become extinct, just like Yugoslavia. What do you think? Tell me in the comments below. Fight me, I can take it. Thank you for your support of this work I do, of these videos I make. It would be impossible without you. It is a cooperation, you and me together, making these videos possible. So thank you for doing your part of the deal. It is great fun for me to do what I do. If it is also fun for you to watch my verbal performance, tell me what I can do better. Feedback is always appreciated. Wish you all the best, and see you in the next video. Bye!